And certainly, money can solve many real problems. It can provide security, freedom, opportunity, comfort. But beyond a certain point, more money often creates diminishing returns because the brain adapts to wealth just as it adapts to everything else. A luxury car eventually becomes just a car. A mansion eventually becomes just a house. A promotion eventually becomes just another job title. The excitement fades. The adaptation remains. This doesn't mean goals are meaningless. Goals matter. Ambition matters. Progress matters. The problem begins when happiness becomes permanently attached to the next achievement. When we tell ourselves, I'll be happy when. I'll be happy when I graduate. I'll be happy when I get promoted. I'll be happy when I make more money. I'll be happy when I buy that house. I'll be happy when people recognize me. The danger is that happiness keeps moving into the future, always one step ahead, always attached to the next milestone, never available right now. And yet, some of the happiest moments in life often come from things that cannot be collected or accumulated. A conversation, a friendship, a sunset, a meaningful experience, a quiet moment of gratitude. These moments don't always trigger the same intense excitement as chasing a goal, but they often create something deeper, contentment. And contentment is very different from excitement. Excitement is temporary. Contentment is stable. Excitement says, I need more. Contentment says, what I have is enough. Modern culture spends enormous energy encouraging people to want more. More success, more productivity, more possessions, more status, more attention. But very little attention is given to a different question. How much is enough? Because if there is no answer to that question, the chase never ends. No finish line exists. No achievement feels final. No victory feels complete. The horizon simply keeps moving farther away. Perhaps the real challenge isn't learning how to get more. Perhaps it's learning when to stop chasing, to appreciate what already exists, to recognize how far you've already come, to realize that the goal you have today may have been the dream version of your life years ago. And maybe that's the strange paradox of human happiness. The things we spend our lives chasing often matter less than we imagine, while the things we overlook every day often matter more than we realize. So the next time you find yourself thinking, I'll finally be happy when I get that thing, ask yourself one question. What if happiness was never waiting at the finish line? What if it was available during the journey all along? And what if the secret isn't having more, but needing less? There is another reason we are never satisfied, and it's something most people never notice. Imagine two people. The first person earns $50,000 a year. The second person earns $100,000. Who is happier? Most people assume the second person, but reality is often more complicated. Because happiness isn't determined only by what we have, it's also influenced by who we compare ourselves to. A person earning $50,000 may feel successful if everyone around them earns less. But that same person may suddenly feel poor if they are surrounded by millionaires. Nothing in their life changed. Their income stayed the same, their house stayed the same, their abilities stayed the same. Only the comparison changed. Yet their feelings changed completely. This reveals something fascinating about human psychology. We don't judge success in isolation. We judge success relative to other people, and this tendency is ancient. For our ancestors, status mattered. Higher status often meant better access to resources, more safety, more opportunities, a greater chance of survival. As a result, evolution encouraged us to pay close attention to our position within the group. The problem is that in the modern world, the group has become enormous. Instead of comparing ourselves to a few dozen people, we compare ourselves to millions, every day, every hour, sometimes every minute. The internet has created the largest comparison machine in human history, and it fits in your pocket. You open your phone and instantly see someone richer, someone stronger, someone smarter, someone more attractive, someone more successful. No matter how much progress you've made, there will always be someone ahead of you. Always. The game can never be won, because new standards appear faster than we can reach them. And when comparison becomes endless, satisfaction becomes impossible. But comparison isn't the only trap. There is another one, the illusion of arrival. Most people live with a hidden belief. They imagine a future version of themselves, a future where everything finally makes sense, a future where all problems disappear, a future where happiness becomes permanent. And they believe that future exists just beyond the next achievement, just beyond the next promotion, just beyond the next purchase, just beyond the next milestone. But when they arrive, reality feels surprisingly familiar because they bring the same mind with them, the same fears, the same insecurities, the same habits. The destination changes, but the person often remains the same. This is why so many people experience what psychologists sometimes call the arrival fallacy, the belief that reaching a goal will create lasting happiness, only to discover that life quickly returns to normal. The goal wasn't the problem, the expectation was. And perhaps that's why some of the most successful people in the world continue chasing more long after they have everything they need. Not because they are irrational, but because the mind keeps moving the finish line again and again and again. The next achievement promises what the previous achievement could not deliver: permanent fulfillment. But permanent fulfillment never arrives because the brain was never designed for permanent fulfillment. It was designed for movement, for pursuit, for adaptation, for survival. And understanding this changes everything. Because once you realize that your mind naturally wants more, you stop expecting satisfaction to come from accumulation alone. You stop treating happiness like a destination and begin seeing it as a skill, a practice, a way of paying attention. Maybe the goal isn't to eliminate ambition. Maybe the goal is to enjoy progress without becoming trapped by it, to build without constantly comparing, to achieve without constantly craving, to move forward without believing that happiness exists only somewhere ahead. Because if satisfaction always depends on the next thing, then today will never be enough. And if today is never enough, neither will tomorrow.